In this video, we're going to take a Dell Latitude E6430. We're going to upgrade the RAM from 8 gigs to 16 gigs. Word of warning, before you do that, you may want to consider upgrading your hard drive to an SSD drive, as that'll get you the most performance, whereas a RAM upgrade will really only give you more memory to work multiple applications. On this Dell laptop, we were able to go from a boot up time with the old hard drive of 2 minutes and 30 seconds to just under 35 seconds with an SSD. I had all but given up using Premiere on this laptop because it was just so incredibly slow with the old drive and it would stutter. This SSD drive makes a world of difference because it's very snappy, everything's running fine. And looking at the task manager, you can see that memory usage when scrolling across a timeline can really come up close to my 8 gigs of RAM. So adding an additional 8 should help that situation. To install our memory sticks on the Dell E6430, we're going to have to unplug it, remove the battery. There are 2 tabs on here that should release the battery. And if they don't hold in place, there it goes. That takes the battery out. Then you're going to have to take out the hard drive and the DVD player. Those are need to come out. Then once you do that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 5 screws that need to come out. I'm also going to, before I do anything else, I'm going to push the power button for about 5 seconds to make sure that there's just no charge on any of the capacitors, that everything's been discharged out of the unit. And that's done just by simply holding down the power button. And there are 2 additional screws here and here. And you lift up from here, and it should slowly snap out. It's hinged on the front of the laptop. Here's our RAM. There are 2 sticks there. To lift the memory out, we just pull on the spring, the memory pops up. We pull back, it comes out. We're going to have to take the back one out since we're going to have to replace that one also. Again, it pops out. So notice that the card just slides in. So we're going to take our new memory, starting at the back, and you're going to slide it in, and then you're going to press down, open the pins on either side so it holds down that card. Grab the first memory card. Again, we're going to slide in. And there's a detent there, so make sure it's going on the correct side. And normally it's label side up. And again, spread the pin on either side so that it catches. And voila, we are set. So I'm going to take these, put them in the same little plastic that the other cards came in, because I could repurpose this on a different laptop that has even less memory. So now all we're going to do is the reverse. We're going to put the shell back in. It hinges at the front. Snap it back into place. Then we're going to put in the hard drive, the CD-ROM, the battery, put in all our screws, and then we'll be able to start this up. With the laptop assembled, we turn on the power. We're going to go with F2 because we want to go into the BIOS and just make sure that the memory is seen. System information. If we look, We see DIMM A is 8, DIMM B is 8192. So that's our 16 gigs of memory, available memory, 16. So the BIOS sees it and we're in great shape, so we can exit out of here and just let the system boot. And once the system is booted, I will launch Premiere and see how the memory behaves when we scrub across the timeline. With the task manager running, we see that we're using 5 out of 16 gigs. We have our timeline. I'm just gonna scrub across that, and as we saw before, that tended to push me all the way up to 8. And we can play. It has no problem playing stuff. And we see that we're almost at 8 gigs, but I got plenty of headroom, so if I'm running other applications or if something's rendering in the background, that's not going to be an issue. The only limitation, obviously, on this old laptop is now the CPU. That'll be the bottleneck, and there's nothing I can do about that. The SSD gave us the advantage of a quicker boot up and stuff loading in and it responding fairly quick. The RAM just gave us the additional headroom so that we could process and not push the memory all the way to the extreme where we might get a blue screen of death or something. And again, the limitation is the CPU, but you know, for the old machine that it is, I've just breathed new life into it for less than $100. The installation of the SSD drive dropped our boot time considerably, but will going from 8 gigs of memory to 16 gigs provide any further enhancement? Let's take a look. Let's skip ahead to the results. Our SSD with memory came in at just under 37 seconds, while the SSD came in at 35.5. Of course, the old drive came in at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So there is a huge leap in improvement once you switch over to the SSD. Putting additional memory into your system just buys you overhead for doing other things while you're working with multiple programs. So not necessarily a bad investment in this case. After all, we only spent $34 for the RAM, $52 for the SSD. So for under $90, we have a big improvement, and we've just basically lengthened the longevity of it. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.